The question didn't land all at once. It hovered between us, fragile as glass, as if even the air might shatter it if I breathed wrong. Is there space left in your bed? She said it quietly. Not dramatic. Not pleading. Just honest. And that somehow made it heavier than anything she could have shouted. The hallway outside my apartment hummed with old wiring and tired lights. One bulb flickered like it was debating whether this moment deserved illumination. Rainwater pooled at her feet, dripping from the hem of her coat onto the scuffed linoleum. She looked like someone who had walked a long way without ever moving forward. I didn't answer immediately. Not because I was confused, but because I understood. This wasn't about a bed. It was about safety. About whether she could close her eyes without fear clawing at her ribs. About whether tonight would end with her sleeping, or with another long vigil against memories that wouldn't let go. I stepped aside and opened the door wider. Come in, I said. The words felt small for something that big. She hesitated just a fraction of a second before crossing the threshold, like she was half expecting something terrible to happen the moment she did. When the door closed behind her, the lock clicking into place sounded louder than it ever had before. Final. Defiant. Protective. My apartment was nothing special. A couch that had seen better days. A coffee table scarred by too many rushed mornings. A single bookshelf half filled with novels I meant to read and manuals I pretended I'd already mastered. But she looked around like it might be a fortress. She set her tote bag down carefully, as if sudden movements might summon someone unwanted. Her shoulders were tight, drawn up near her ears, and when she rubbed her hands together I noticed they were trembling, just barely, but enough. You can take the couch, I said quickly, defaulting to the safest, least complicated option. I'll grab extra blankets, pillows. I don't think I can sleep alone, she interrupted, then winced as if she'd said too much. Silence settled between us, thick and uncomfortable. She took a few steps into the living room, then stopped, arms wrapping around herself. The rain had plastered her hair to her temples, and dark circles shadowed her eyes. She looked exhausted in a way sleep alone couldn't fix. Every time I close my eyes, she said softly, staring at the floor, I hear him. I hear the door. I hear. She broke off, swallowing hard. That was it. That was the moment something inside me snapped into place. I'd seen her strong. I'd seen her angry. I'd seen her laugh until she cried. But I'd never seen her like this, stripped down to pure survival instinct, running on fumes and fear. You're safe here, I said, stepping closer but not touching her. I promise you. He doesn't know where I live. No one does. Her eyes flicked up to mine, sharp and searching. She was weighing the truth of my words like her life depended on it. Because tonight, it did. She nodded once, then asked again, this time clearer, steadier, like she'd made a decision. Is there space left in your bed? My chest tightened. There were a dozen reasons to say no. Boundaries. Complications. The way this could change everything between us. The way people talk. The way lines blur. But there was one reason. One, that outweighed them all. She needed somewhere she didn't have to be afraid. There's space, I said slowly. But only if it helps you feel safe. Nothing else. Just safety. Her shoulders sagged like a weight had finally been set down. Thank you, she whispered. The bedroom light was low, casting soft shadows against the walls. I turned away while she slipped out of her coat, giving her privacy without making a show of it. I changed into a hoodie and sweatpants, hands moving on autopilot while my mind stayed fixed on one thing: keep this simple. Keep this safe. When we lay down, we kept our distance at first. A careful gap between us, like an unspoken agreement. The mattress dipped slightly under her weight, and she stared at the ceiling, hands folded tightly over her stomach. Minutes passed. Her breathing was uneven. I could feel the tension radiating off her, like she was coiled too tight to rest. You can turn the light off, she said suddenly. If you want. I reached over and clicked it off, plunging the room into darkness broken only by faint city glow slipping through the blinds. In the quiet, her breathing stuttered. I'm sorry, she whispered. For what? For bringing this here. For making it your problem. I turned my head toward her, even though I couldn't see her face clearly. You didn't make anything my problem, I said. You showed up because you trusted me. That matters. She shifted, restless. Then slowly, carefully, she rolled onto her side, facing me. Can I? She began, trailing off. Before she could finish, I moved my arm slightly, leaving space. Not pulling her in. Just making room. She took it. Her forehead rested lightly against my shoulder, like she was testing whether the ground would hold. When I didn't move away, she exhaled, a long, shaky breath she'd been holding for far too long. Her hands were cold. Instinctively, I adjusted the blanket around her, careful, deliberate. You don't have to stay awake, she murmured. I know you have work. I'll call in, I said without hesitation. She gave a small laugh that didn't quite make it all the way out. You always do that, she said. Do what? Choose the hard thing. I stared into the dark, thinking about how easily tonight could spiral into something else. How thin the line was between comfort and complication. If keeping you safe costs me something, I said quietly, I can live with that. She didn't respond right away. Instead, she shifted closer, still cautious, still respectful, but closer. Her fingers curled into the fabric of my hoodie like it was an anchor. Like she was afraid that if she let go, everything else might come undone. Outside, the rain faded into a soft hush. Her breathing slowed. Minutes turned into longer stretches of quiet. I felt her weight relax against me, the tension slowly easing from her body. It was the kind of sleep that came in layers, earned inch by inch. I stayed awake longer than I meant to. Listening, protecting, knowing with absolute certainty that whatever consequences came from this night, whatever lines were crossed, whatever sacrifices followed, I'd already made the choice. And I would make it again.